Good morning from paradise. We are back. It is June 12th. Some great data coming out regarding inflation, which we're going to get into. The markets are responding accordingly. Should we, get super long, super bullish? Should we temper expectations? We'll get into that. We're also going to talk about memes. How can you not be talking about memes right now? Oh my goodness. But on the flip side, what does that mean for utility tokens, right? When is that market going to take off, if ever? So we'll talk about that a little bit. And we'll see what else comes to mind here today, June 12th. Let's kick it off, guys. So inflation data coming in lower than expected. Markets are pumping. What's your guys' early reaction? Powell's not actually spoken yet, so we'll see what happens when he takes the stage at around 2 p.m. today. But what's your early take on this data?
Yeah, I'll hop in real quick and then I'll let Nate, go on his rant against Powell and rooting against him because I already look, he's already over there smiling, smirking, ready to go. CPI was supposed to be there. The projecting 3.4% came in at 3.3, so markets are rallying. What's interesting is the last like three FOMC meetings that we've had, Bitcoin sold off leading into those and then has rallied out of it because we just continue to have small beats on FOMC and the CPI data. So that's very interesting. Also, one of the pre-sales that we invested in, Truflation, we worked with them with TDI and Ferrum Network. They have their data. Their data kind of says the same thing. Obviously, they're all the way down at 2.15%. They pride themselves on outpacing and being ahead of the government. So if that data is right, then I think we can continue to trend lower. And that's where Ian's prediction of maybe some rate cuts finally coming into play by the end of the year start to play out. If that happens, that is short-term bullish for the markets, and the pump will continue. I think we see new all-time highs for Bitcoin. We get the Ethereum spot ETF approval. We get inflows into that. And that means that the dollar is probably also topping here, which adds more fuel to the fire for crypto investments.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, is inflation down? Are markets getting better? Is the job market improving? Who knows? But at the end of the day, doesn't matter. If the numbers come out good, markets go up, green candles, bags pump, we're happy. So that's what we want to see at the end of the day. Whether or not the other shoe is yet to drop, maybe after the election or sometime in 2026 when our chickens come home to roost. Who knows? But in the meantime, we're going to enjoy some green candles and some bags pumping, and we're going to get back to the bull market. And maybe this is what kicks off the bull of all bulls that we've all been waiting for. I mean, we've got so many things lined up that when the market does pump between the Bitcoin ETFs, the Ethereum ETFs, all this new adoption coming in, rumors of Sol ETFs and meme coin ETFs, and all this bullish traction. Trump coming out endorsing crypto, saying Bitcoin might, or RFK saying no tax on Bitcoin. Like there's so many things that are lining up. The cars are at the starting line. They're fueled up. Engines are idling, just waiting for that checkered or the green flag to drop. Is this what starts it off? Is this what starts the mega pump that gets us all our own Lambos? I don't know, but it's looking good. I see Bitcoin back up over 69,000, headed towards 70 after dipping all the way down almost into the 65s. I'm excited whether these numbers are real or not. I say let's freaking go. I hope J Powell comes out and blows everybody's minds and gives us a surprise rate cut, or even if he comes out and says, "Hey, everybody's expecting him to go from they're calling it what the dot A plan or whatever it's called, where they're going down from 3 cuts to 2 cuts or maybe 1 cut. Maybe he comes out and says, "Hey, we're sticking with 3 cuts," and the markets send. I don't know, but we're off to a good start this morning, anyways, from everybody on CT saying doom and gloom and bear markets coming and recessions in and say goodbye to your bags. Now we're back up above
We're right
69,
back.
headed towards 70, and yeah, exactly. But that's CT, and that's crypto Twitter, and that's the blockchain crypto market for you. So,
Before
anyways,
you hop
see
into
what
it,
happens.
Ian, thanks for reminding me, Nate, about Trump. Trump also had a meeting with Bitcoin miners, notably the CEO and founders of Riot, just yesterday. And Trump
Ooh.
was big supporters of what they were doing. That's a stock that's kind of been a lagger. Mining industry is struggling compared to Coinbase MicroStrategy, but maybe you should put mining stocks back on your radar. Trump said that he wants every Bitcoin, all the remaining Bitcoin that are going to be mined, he wants to have them mined in the United States. I think he's finally A, coming
Love
to
it.
fruition with the vote for the presidential election, but B, obviously we know that's not possible, guys. But it's a figure of speech. Maybe he's starting to realize that this is kind of the next dot-com bubble, and the United States needs to stay on the cutting edge of innovation and monetary policy if we're going to compete with the rest of the world, in which we're already seeing China and Asia and Russia really supporting Bitcoin. They're already kind of ahead of the curve for us. So maybe that's very important for him to kind of be the provider of a lot of these Bitcoin mining facilities, because then we get taxes. We get to utilize energy that we're not using. Everybody thinks that, we don't have enough energy. There's actual excess energy on the Texas grid that every day that just gets burnt out into nothingness. So right now, Texas is giving that to Bitcoin miners for very cheap, because making a little bit of money is better than making no money. And then we're producing economic viability there by employing people at the Bitcoin mining facility, being able to tax the Bitcoin that's earned, and Texas being able to use their excess inventory of electricity on a daily basis. So net positive, and it looks like now Trump has taken it even a step further, saying he's pro-crypto by getting on board with the mining innovation for Bitcoin.
Love it. And not to
Glad
get
to
down
hear
too
that.
far of a rabbit hole there, but one thing that could potentially, and again, this is a few years down the road, help with all of that. Um, Recently, I think it was early this year or late last year, they found the largest reserve of rare earth metals, those metals they need to make the computer chips, in the USA. I think it's in the Pacific Northwest. It's in like part of Idaho and Oregon or somewhere up there. Anyways, from the largest deposits of these metals that are needed to create these high-end computer chips. Think NVIDIA, that currently most of that's done all overseas in Taiwan, because that's where they get the metals, or if we get the metals here, we send. Anyways, we've now got the potential to start producing all of those chips here, those chips that can be used for the AI, for miners, etc. in the future. So the possibility of bringing more and more of both Bitcoin and AI to pump the AI crypto bags has the potential to come to Vietnam if we can set up the right government structure where one, miners aren't taxed to death or booted out for green reasons, and two, we can actually be allowed by the eco-friendly people to mine these minerals. So we'll see that there, a couple good things on the radar there for Bitcoin and for the blockchain market.
Yeah, I mean, I think politically it makes sense for every government and every politician and every government to be pro crypto and want adoption for the reasons that you guys stated, which is tax dollars, which is innovation, which is jobs, which is beating your competitors. Countries are basically in a sort of new Cold War around the world. Why wouldn't you want to be at the forefront of this new technological revolution? Now, the president of El Salvador got it immediately, and he went all in, and now his bags are pumping, and he's got bringing tourism dollars and tax dollars. So it's just logical, and I'm glad Trump is taking the charge on that, because that's going to force the Dems to get on board too. And you didn't at that point, everyone's going to be pro crypto to some degree or another. So that's all positive. I want to go back to Powell real quick, because I do believe long term we are going up. We're in a bull run, but it's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be continued volatility, as there always is, as there always has been in this industry. But here's what couple things to understand. One, interest rates have been very high, historically speaking, at 5.5% now for a very long time. And that inevitably weighs on the economy. That's what it's designed to do. It's designed to push inflation back down because people can't afford stuff anymore, right? That's what it's meant to do. So that is what is happening. So it was inevitable. This was inevitable. Inflation going down is guaranteed to happen under this current inflation regime that we have going on in the current Fed. So it was a foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of when. All right. So that's one thing to understand. But the second thing to understand as it relates to Powell in particular, because he's going to go on the stage in 5-6 hours and he's going to say hawkish stuff. He's going to say stuff that scares the markets. He's going to say stuff that leads us to believe that there won't be as many rate cuts. And there's probably going to be a little sell-off during his, a little performance there. And you have to understand why. Why is he going to say hawkish stuff? Well, think about it. If he says dovish stuff, and by dovish and hawkish, dovish means, capital's going back in the markets. We're going to cut interest rates. Money supply is going up, all that. That's dovish. Hawkish is we're tightening the supply, blah, blah, blah. So he's going to say hawkish stuff because if he says dovish stuff, the stock market's going to start pumping more. It's already pumped a lot this year. It's going to pump more. Crypto's going to pump more. People with money, with those assets, houses may start continue to go up in value. People with assets, those assets are going to feel more free to spend money again. And that has a direct impact then on inflation because the more you spend, the more companies are willing to increase the cost of their goods and services, and inflation starts to go back up again. So he has to say hawkish shit. He has to. Otherwise, he's shooting himself in the foot. And it's going to defeat all of what they're trying to do with these high rates. So expect him to come in. I don't think he's going to say anything more than what he normally says, which is we're going to follow the data. We're going to follow the data wherever the data leads. And he's just going to be very obtuse and he's going to dodge every question. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe a rate cut's on the table. Maybe it's not. We'll have to see. And he'll just say that over and over in different forms until the conference ends. And, after an hour from going on like that, and the markets are going to go, oh, what's happening? I don't know. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. But the reality is inflation is going to continue to go down and they're eventually going to cut rates because they have to cut rates at some point. Otherwise, they're going to cause a recession here. And they know that. And they have to cut rates, but they can't do it prematurely and they can't let on that they're going to do that. Otherwise, their whole, plan goes up in smoke. So chess, not checkers, guys. Understand what the hell is happening. That's why you watch Crypto Paradise. But don't be afraid. They're going to cut the rates. Market's going to continue to pump. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, I typically find these FOMC meetings to be, a dog and pony show. Nothing ever happens in the meetings. They come out and, like you said, Jay Powell dances around every question, bookends every answer. So no matter what happens, he's right. And really doesn't, comes at the end of the day, it's kind of a nothing burger of a conference, waste of everybody's time. The data's already out by the time he comes on stage and talks. They might as well just post a tweet and be like, this is what we're doing. Nothing, essentially. We're not cutting rates yet. Yeah, everybody's right. Business as usual. He doesn't need to go up there and say nothing and dodge questions for an hour, but that's the game we play. So I read an article yesterday that said the traders had scaled back their bets for a rate cut in September from like almost 70% down to 50%. So people were very bearish on the cuts happening in September. Now I would like to see the revised version of those numbers now that inflation came out lower than expected today. I bet those numbers are back up in the 70 or 80% range where people make it placing bets on September as the rate cut.
I'm a September guy. I got my money on September.
Yeah. I think that's probably fair as well. I think I don't know how hawkish he's going to be today. I think because it's an election year right now, there's been so much coming out not only just for negatively for Biden in terms of poll numbers and Trump's been out there beating the drum, but we just saw major elections happening all across Europe, swinging all sorts of different countries, swinging back the political spectrum towards the right. So that's got people scared. So we might see the people behind the scenes that are pulling the strings for Powell. He's just a face out there. They might have him start to trickle some good news in to try and swing people back towards Biden and his administration by maybe pumping the markets a little bit. So I don't know. I he can't be too hawkish because the market it's a fine line he's got to walk. Let's put it that way. With the market where it is and with elections coming up. So I don't think he's going to come out and like I said, give us a rate hike. I mean, that'd be sick. We're going to Valhalla if that happens. But I do think he's going to walk a very fine line in terms of dovish versus hawkish and giving us news one way or the other to try and not send things too hard in any direction.
Yeah, I would agree. So he's probably going to beat around the bush like Ian said, but he is going to say, well, we're still trending lower, so we're heading in the right direction, but we're not there yet, so nothing can be done. Going back to what you said about the El Salvador president, yeah, they were on board. They were one of the first countries that kind of went back to the conservative leader, and they got him in, and they were the most dangerous country in the Western Hemisphere, are the most dangerous country in the world. Now they're the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. They're using volcano power to mine Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoin on a daily basis all the way from the lows. I mean, crazy stuff if he said that was a reality, but he's been right all along. The country is now thriving. Now all they need to figure out is the economic component. And if Bitcoin keeps going up and to the right, their economic situation is going to be solved for them. So congratulations to them. And like I said, we've seen Argentina and now Europe is kind of voting more the conservative, the right-winging side. And maybe we'll have some sanity and some going back here for the global system. And maybe this hints towards Trump, who is massive pro crypto and pro Bitcoin, possibly winning the election here in November, which would be really good for all of us. So I think everything's trending in the right direction. Everything we've been saying for why we're bullish this past year and a half is all coming to fruition. And we still have a lot of check marks and a lot of catalysts coming up in the near future.
Well, speaking
Absolutely. I
of,
think long term, we're trending up. Nothing to worry about long term. But I think what happens is people in crypto and the markets get caught up in the day to day. And it's easy to get caught up in the day to day. Price is down. You get scared. You start that doubt creeps in. Oh, is it going to go to zero or whatever? It never does. It always bounces back at some point. But that's the nature of the markets. It's the fear and the greed, combined together. And that is ultimately what the market sentiment is and the price is at any given time. But what we're seeing now, interestingly, with the crypto markets in particular, is a major swing away from utility tokens, it seems, and into meme coins. Now, if you'd said this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the memes are going to be the hottest thing and it's have a sustained multi-month, almost, say 6 month long run here, sucks all liquidity out of utility tokens, people would have said you're crazy. That's never going to happen. There's Doge where there's not much else. Things have changed dramatically. And if you want to succeed in this industry, you're going to have to evolve with the times. And so we at Crypto Paradise have been trying to unlock the secrets of the memes. They're very easy to get wrecked on, but you can make a lot. So the key is how do you differentiate and find the good ones from the bad? So I want to talk about generally what's your guys' take right now, meme coin season versus utility coin season, and then we can dive into some specific memes that we like and why we like them.
yeah, I think the meme coin puzzle presents a very interesting opportunity for retail. It also presents a very difficult dilemma to VCs and big money types in the crypto space, primarily for the reason that the average meme coin project, like we've talked about many times on this show, lasts only a couple days. The best ones in the market last only a couple months, except for the absolute tippy top blue chips like your Pepe's, your Flokies, your Doge that make it, years. Not very many of these are going to make it very far. So it's hard for, big money and VCs to get in successfully and make an exit. There's not usually pre-sales with this thing. The few that do pre-sales are even typically have less of a chance of making it long term. So it's creating and it's sucking now. I didn't know don't know the exact number, but it's got to be in the hundreds of billions of dollars in volume that have been sucked out of traditional alts into the meme coin market. And we've seen the results of that with the performance of pre-sales recently. Markets have, even when the markets were pumping in like April and May, pre-sales really weren't doing that hot comparatively to the memes. Because when you see memes doing 10x in an afternoon, 100x in a month, 1,000x in 2 months, like we've seen with some of these tokens, the retail's attention. They see the shiny thing over here, and they're the old the Toy Story meme where he's dropping Woody on the ground. That's pre-sales right now, and he's walking, going over to Buzz Lightyear, which is the new meme game. So it's created a very interesting dilemma for the VCs, for the big money types. But it's created some amazing opportunities for retail that are willing to put in the time where they can get in. I hit like a 5x in 12 hours the other day on some nonsense meme coin, and it was the battle between ass and tits. There's some Izzy Exala or one of those types had ass coin, and somebody else put out the boob coin to combat it, and they were going back and forth just like Trump and Bowden did a few months ago, going back and forth. And you have the cat versus dog memes, and so it was a perfect dynamic where you had the opportunity, and you can get in, but you have to be able to get out quick. Again, VCs, the family funds, all this institutional money that's coming in, they can't play this game. So you're for good or bad to be for the markets, opportunities there for retail that to make some crazy gains. And they've been here for the market's been going on. When did Pepe launch? That was what, April or March or April of a year ago. So we've had almost a nonstop meme bull market for
Wow.
over a year now. So
Great.
it's an opportunity and a problem for us in the market. So interested to see where that's going to continue to lead.
Yeah, and I mean, meme coins, they're not going anywhere. It's kind of, me and Ian kind of talked about this on another show. It's just kind of the mantra of the community and the retail right now. You got the GME stuff going on, GameStop on the traditional markets. That kind of goes with the mantra of memes. But like you said, memes are a little tougher to predict. For all the wins you could have, you can have plenty of losses. I do think that utility tokens still survive. They're easier for bigger money to get involved with. They're easier to kind of see the future of, and they can do revenue share, buybacks, burns, whatever. So in time, utility season will come. But I think that alt season doesn't really start until this Ethereum spot ETF gets approved and there's some inflows into Ethereum. We've talked about why that is bullish. Ethereum, Bitcoin's a proxy for the whole market. Ethereum's kind of a proxy for the altcoins. Now, yes, I know there's other ecosystems and the Solana now and whatnot, but really everything EVM, whether that's Ethereum network, BSC, Base Chain, Arbitrum, Polygon, that's all kind of a proxy of Ethereum's performance. A, due to liquidity pools, and then B, due to sentiments, and then C, due to whales being up big on Ethereum and starting to rotate into these various EVM-compatible altcoins. So we're hoping that happens in June. That would be really nice to get that going here, considering they've already approved the Ethereum spot ETF. The secondary paperwork's already been filled out by BlackRock and many others. Let's let people start to get involved with it. I guess it is still good that there's no inflows yet since we did have that dip in the market. It would be nice if inflows start while we're on the uptick because the institutional players will FOMO into Ethereum and drive prices much higher. So hold tight. If you're looking at utility coins and you think they're massively undervalued for the business and revenue they bring in, then that's probably a good opportunity. That's why Roaring Kitty got involved with GameStop to begin with, and that's the same opportunity you can find with some of these utility tokens. It might not be the glitz and glamour. You might not go from $100 to $1 million overnight, but if you find the right ones now at these valuations when nobody else wants them, once they start coming, you already have your bag, you already have your passive income, and you're going to be well positioned for this bull market.
That's a great point.
This
Buy low, sell high. Never financial advice on this channel, but that's just common sense. And right now, no one's paying attention. Utility tokens valuations are at all-time lows. And so, great entries for those who believe, like I do, that everything in crypto is seasonal. And this has been proven and demonstrated time and time again. This is not the first meme season that we've had. I remember there was meme seasons in prior bull runs. And in fact, it's normally the case that meme season is the first thing that pops off. And then other things start to pop after that. So I don't think this is altogether too different than other prior bull runs, or that memes are more entrenched, and that, there's more opportunities there than there had been in the past. But I don't think this by any means mean that utility tokens are dead and gone for. I just think we're in a phase of the market where the attention is on the memes, and we just need a catalyst, whether that is the final approval and the seeding and, the inflows coming in on Ethereum ETF, whether that is Bitcoin, retaking all-time highs and going parabolic, up to 100K, or a combination of those things. But utility season will come back. Pre-sales will come back too. So I'm remain confident in both those things. But right now, there's awesome opportunities in the meme world. So I want to talk a little bit about how does one identify the good from the bad. I'm really, my personal approach to memes is I can't be in front of the computer all day in following a specific chart all day, every second, because I'm on calls. I got family obligations. I have a life, right? So I need to find the ones that are more, quote, blue chip, right? Ones that maybe not, pumping and they're not, but they're also not dumping back down in an hour. They're a little bit slow and steadier growth. And so those to me are the real opportunities if you have some diamond hands and you're a bit patient. And to me, and I'd love to hear your guys' take on this, but to me, the biggest key to that is a very strong organic community, which is normally going to be led by someone who's a major cheerleader, major supporter and core contributor who is out there constantly rallying the troops, shilling it themselves, going out on Twitter, doing Twitter spaces, doing constant voice chats. You as a meme founder should be super active. You got to be working 18 hours a day if you want to become a blue chip in the meme world. And that's what we saw happen with Kendu. Their guy leading that was like just nonstop, 3 Twitter spaces a day at one point, just bananas, right? And there's a few others that I really like, which are following suit with that in terms of strong leadership and strong community. So that's one of the major things I look at. What are some of the things you guys look at? And then maybe we can talk about specific memes a bit as well, when you're trying to select these things.
Yeah, and you brought up a great point, which is what I was about to mention in terms of the traditional alts versus memes. Memes are not a set it and forget it kind of play. Like right now, Nick mentioned we're looking at the possibility to get in on some alts at like rock bottom prices. Some of the blue chip AI tokens have retraced 50, 60, 70%. Those are the kind of tokens you can buy, wait for 6 months, and they're going to be, way, way up. Not the case with memes. You have to have the time to babysit these bags, to be constantly watching the charts, to be constantly looking for the new thing that's popping off, if you really want to be successful in the meme game. So some things that I look for when it comes to memes, to help identify, if you're going after the blue chips, I think community, like you mentioned, is number one. Knowing the teams behind the tokens. The reality of memes is an inside baseball thing. It's a couple of teams out there and a couple of squads of KOLs that are pumping all of these things. And they all work together. They all coordinate all this stuff. They come out and they do a fair launch that they have a sniper on that scoops up 80% of the liquidity as soon as it launches. And that's how they make their money, is they can trickle that out as it goes up to 1, 5, 10, $100 million market cap, and they get their money back. So starting to identify who those marketers are that are shilling these tokens, and kind of, if you can find, there's guys out there that are, the blockchain sleuths that have gone out and they look for these key wallets that are a part of these different, meme pumps that have been super successful. And they go and follow, copy trade those different wallets. A great example of finding the teams that know what they're doing and watching what they're producing is, you mentioned Kendu. They just launched their new token, Make Ethereum Great Again, Mega, last week or 2 weeks ago. That's
Mega.
crushing it. And everybody that saw that they were launching a new token knew, oh, they crushed it with Kendu. They're going to follow the same template. It's a really a templated industry. Copy and paste what to do into the next ones. You got to have, something viral in one of these trends, whether it's a political theme, whether it's a dog meme, or whatever other goofy thing for the week is popular, that you get in these trends with. So yeah, community number one, finding good teams and KOLs that have a track record of producing wins in the meme sector, and trends. I think the trends within the meme space are super important. There's a few trends that have been around a long time. Dog memes seem like, the OG thing that's never going away. Pepe meme trends come and go. Cat memes were popular recently. Hat memes were popular. You've got the political spoof memes, but like, you got to find these trends. The community is going to latch on to these different trends, and it's all about tapping into the ethos of pop culture, finding things that degens and retail like. And again, kind of to circle back again, full retail is not here yet. It's a PvP battle of people that have been in crypto for a while right now in the meme game, and that has brought us hundreds of billions of dollars in trade volume. I think when real retail comes in, that's when we see the shift back to regular alts, because again, the average mom and pop kind of person that's going to get into crypto that has a little bit of money to play around, they don't understand the meme game. They don't have the time to go and look at the charts and research all these groups. They're looking for the typical alt where they can get into, see a 3 to 5 to 10x and get out. And they don't have to babysit it every minute of the day. But anyways, that's kind of my take on the how to find good memes and what's going to happen with memes versus traditional alts.
Yeah, I mean, really, memes, like everything Ian said, is really all you can go on. You're relying on the team. You're relying on the narrative. Is it memeable? Will it make you laugh, or is it, part of the current narrative? and then you got to rely on the community. Because ultimately, what does community mean? Community means you have free marketing because a lot of these memes don't have a lot of funding because they're not a traditional pre-sale if they do a fair launch or whatever. But also the community is the people who continue to buy more, who continue to hold more, or whatever it may be. So that's really all you can go on. Now, some people want memes with no utility, and that's kind of the mantra and the meme ability of why they moon. But reality is, if you want your meme to be long-standing for multiple cycles, like a blue chip, you need to find some kind of utility as well, or have some kind of buyback and burn mechanism, or whatever it is. And so you can start to look at those. Now, when you look for those, you're looking at larger valuations at most times, like a Floki. Why is Floki continue to outperform SHIB and Doge this cycle, even though it's a large cap with them? Well, they have more utility. So they have products producing revenue. That revenue is passed on to stakers. The revenue is used for buybacks and burns of the token, making it deflationary. That's why it's outperforming. It makes a lot of sense. Well, now can we look for small caps that are kind of trying to do the same thing? One that we had on Crypto Paradise is called Based Farmer Frank. When we had it on Crypto Paradise, it was around 300,000, 500,000 market cap. Now it's about a 1.1 to 1.3 million dollar market cap. And, you can hold it to hopefully it goes up and to the right. You can stake it to earn Ethereum, or you can trade it to earn farming points of other meme coins. One that we got was called Carlo, and Carlo now has gone up 5x. So you might have earned $100 worth of Carlo for buying your first bag, and now that $100 is worth $500. So there is an opportunity to find these small cap utility memes. They're not as popular, but if the market starts switching to utility tokens and meme coins slow down, what meme coins do you think could still have some leg room? Probably meme coins with some kind of utility, because now they can pivot and try to join that narrative as well. So Base Farmer Frank is one that we like, one that we're in, and we're up slightly on, along with some passive income, and it's still sitting at a very small market cap. I know
shout
Ian,
out
you
Frank.
might.
That's love that one.
Yeah, and I know Ian's been talking about some other ones. I think you mentioned one called Truth yesterday on our recorded video. Do you have any others that people should look at? I'm always a Floki
Yeah, I'm loving
proponent. I'm a
Truth.
Floki show.
I'm loving Truth because I think it checks all the boxes that I want to see in memes. By the way, for memes, my personal approach is to find the ones that are still low caps, because I don't invest in memes to do 20, 30% or even 2x. And it's kind of hard to get a 2x when it's already 100 million to 500 million market cap. Very hard to get a 2x at that point. And it could very easily go down. So upside is limited when you have the big cap, and the risk is still present that you lose money on it. So I like to find the newer ones that have a chance to become a blue chip. And I think Truth checks a lot of those boxes. So for one, it is founded by an influencer in the space. His name is The Dude. I've known him for many years. He has about 30 or 40,000 followers himself, but he also has a strong community. Even predating founding of Truth, he had a strong, private group and so on. A lot of connections in the space, knows what he's doing, had experience pumping and other memes and being involved in other memes. So, he's leading that, and he really is a cheerleader. He's doing multiple voice chats a day. He's very inspirational when you hear him talk. He's convincing people essentially to, get out on Twitter and tweet and engage and do that free community-based marketing that is the backbone of a successful meme. The narrative behind it, I also happen to love because it's super unique. I don't know if it's truly going to take off necessarily, but it's Truth Inu. So it's a dog, right? So we got that going for it. But the whole unique narrative is it's all about calling out either the bullshit you see in the space, trying to call like, that's a lie, here's the truth, here's the hashtag truth, or you see something positive, cool happen in the space, and you're like, yeah, truth, hashtag, that was awesome, that's the truth. So natural sort of viral, marketing inherently built into it, I would say. So it checks off that box. Community's there. It's already super strong community. I was buying in, full disclosure, I was buying in at sub 2 million market cap. As soon as I found out about it, it was founded by the dude. I was like, I'm going to ape in a little bit. I didn't ape in more than I was afraid to lose myself, but it started to go up, and I'm learning more and I'm scaling more. And so I'm pretty heavily invested in that one by now. And it's now sitting at about 4.5 million market cap. And I think has a lot of room to run, because the reality is, if you have the fundamentals in terms of community and leadership, it's not out of the realm of possibility to run up to 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 million is very quite possible with these means given enough time. So I really like Truth. Frank, Farmer Frank, you mentioned. We got to get those guys on the show one of these days because I think that one is super unique too. It's almost a meme plus DeFi, which I think is unique and I think is going to do well as more people find out about it. Melania Dog with No Hat. They're almost in that meme-fi sort of sector as well because they're building out utility. They have a new viral marketing product they've built. They're adding staking to it. They're adding some sub tokens to it. So that one I think is going to continue to run here as products gets launched. But those are pretty much the only ones I'm in. I mean, I was in one yesterday for about an hour. A couple red flags popped up. I just got out because you can't wait around. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put more into Truth. I trust that guy. He's not going to rug me. He's going to do a good job. So, and I'm happy I did that. But yeah, I don't have any others I'm specifically in right now, if I'm being honest. Just those three.
So how do we think that? Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to let you, do your thing if it's about memes, because I was going to kind of pivot.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say my core alpha group for memes last week got hacked and shut down. So I'm on the hunt for a new meme alpha group. So if any of our members on Telegram, on Twitter, or wherever you're watching this right now, if you've got a good meme alpha group, share it with us. We'd love to get in there and see some good calls. Bring those calls to the broader market and find some new projects to invest in and potentially work with as well. So let us know if you've got a good meme group, shill it to us.
Yeah, we kind of talked about already how inflation numbers in the economy is affecting the market, how Powell can potentially affect the market later today. And Nate, you kind of touched on it. Meme coins are sucking a lot of the volume and life out of other altcoins. And realize when there's rugs in these meme coins, we did a recording video with Assure DeFi yesterday that isn't out yet. But when there's rugs in these meme coins, that is essentially money being sucked out of the market into the pockets of some scammer who's now sitting on a beach. So that's out of crypto. So, be careful with what you're doing. Obviously, this is player versus player. Everybody wants to make money, but at least put your investment capital in real projects. You have a better chance of winning. And of course, you're supporting the broader crypto ecosystem, which means up and to the right for all of your other bags as well. And everybody can win together in regards to that. When it simply is a straight up rug and the money gets pulled out of the market, that benefits nobody but the individual scammer. So let's try to avoid that. So, where do you guys see, so we can wrap this up, where do you see the market now? Where do you see, your final points about market conditions, what people should be looking at, or what narratives or sectors we should be targeting?
Well, I think the memes are still going to be hot as a specific sector until they're not, until you see a switch. And you got to be paying attention. Follow Crypto Paradise. We'll give you the signals in our opinion. So memes will be hot. But I think the majors are going to outperform as well. I think you're going to see Bitcoin getting some dominance back here, more dominance back here. I think we're probably going to breach 70K, subject to what Powell says. I think Ethereum is going to breach 4K when these secondary forms get approved by the SEC, which is slated to happen end of June or early July. And then, of course, when these funds and institutions are able to invest into these Ethereum ETFs and have to buy Ethereum off the market, you're going to see things go really crazy. So I think the majors are going to outperform, memes are going to outperform. And then we'll see what happens, which sectors from a utility standpoint. I think AI has a chance to run as well as a narrative coming up here. Infrastructure plays, I think we'll see their time of day. DeFi, I think potentially may as well. So we'll see. We'll see the money cycling back to the legit projects. I have no doubt about it. Just a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of volatility yet today. I think we probably see a retest of like 71, maybe even 72K. I don't know if it's going to hold there. But I think towards the end of the week, that peters out. We get a little more stability and see the slow uptrend resume. I think by the end of June, we see new all-time highs for Bitcoin, and the real pump starts to go into June, beginning of July. As far as memes go, I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. I even kind of think we might have found the first bear-proof sector within crypto. Much like gambling, people, memes have such a short life cycle. I don't see them even maybe slowing down, but not going away completely when the bear market comes in, next year or whenever that happens. But I do see them slowing down as, like both of you guys said, Ethereum ETFs get approved. Ethereum is going to lead an alt charge. And when people can start to see those those major gains, those 5, 10, 20, and 50Xs in legitimate projects, some of that is going to slow down from meme coins. But I also think that's when we start seeing the, actual retail start coming back into crypto, new adoption happening, new money coming into the market. And those guys, for the most part, aren't going to be going and playing the meme games. Our friends, our parents, the average person, investor coming from the stock market, they have no interest, or if they do try and play in the meme market, they're going to get wrecked, and they're immediately going to leave that and go where when everybody else is saying safe. You can't really say safe in crypto, but safer, 5 to 10 to 20 X's in legitimate projects. They're going to leave the meme game behind. They're not going to get involved with that. And that money is going to stay in the alts. And that's what I think we see, pre-sales running hard again, and the overall alts pumping here. So yeah, rest of the year looks great. I think. And fingers crossed that we get back to the up only season.
Yeah, overall, I think the dips are made for buying right now in the large caps. And then for anything that's a mid to small cap for your utility token, do your research. If something makes sense to you, those are the ones I'd be buying the rock bottom prices right now. I don't think they're going to run just yet. Like Ian said, I think we're in memes. Then it's going to rotate to the large caps like Bitcoin, Ethereum dominance. But then Ethereum is going to drag these alts higher, and that's where the utility tokens will shine on the next part of the bull market. So dips made for buying for the big caps, and then start getting some positions and DCAing into your favorite utility tokens that are, rock bottom prices, in my opinion, based on the revenue that they're producing.
Love it, guys. You heard it here first. Never financial advice, as always, just our opinions, but a lot of great insights on the show today. By the way, guys, we are going to be on the beach, literally, early next week. I cannot wait to share with our audience our going to be our fun, crazy experience in Tulum. Remember, people who follow the show and support us and engage and so on can win trips to Tulum, Mexico. We're still giving them away. No one's taking us up on it.
Paradise pad.
Maybe they think it's not real, but I assure you it is very real. We will be there next week recording content, so you guys hopefully enjoy that. I know we will. And until then, we will see you on the literal beach.